Guys, if you're a solar installation business and you've often wondered, what campaign should I run? What sales initiatives should I do? What should I offer to the customers? What I'm going to show you here is basically how we plan 12 months of campaigns, marketing campaigns, sales objectives for clients. And it's a tool that installers absolutely love because it just lays things out very clear, very simple, and it makes sense as to why we're doing certain things. And it helps you plan out your entire year. So basically what it is, it's we've mapped out the customer journey, your journey as a business, the industry, and then we look at all these things together, and at the back end ends up following great sales initiatives and campaign ideas. So here's how it works, and anyone can implement this, even if you're a single installer or if you're a large business. So let's look at it's broken down by quarter. So first thing we look at in the first column here is the customer journey. What's going on in the customer's mind over the next 12 months? What's happening in their life? What are the things that are going on? Well, if we look at the first quarter here, businesses are typically back at work. So the business owner is doing their planning in January. Maybe they're looking at doing solar so they can save on costs, or looking for some tax write-offs. Homeowners are typically still away on holiday and very hard to get a hold of. Also in March, typically, like the southern states in Australia and New South Wales, typically people will get a large bill at the end of summer because they've been pumping the air cons. So leads tend to come in quite heavily then. So that's just the first quarter for an example. And then let's go over to the installer. So what's happening in the installer's business? Well, typically in Australia in December, there's a STC program, or a government rebate program, that decreases every year. So a lot of jobs come in at the end of the year, which means that there's a big backlog of jobs to install in the first quarter. So they're quite busy. Commercial jobs need to start getting booked in order to get them installed so they can get the tax write-offs by the end of the year. Staff are typically still away on holiday quite a bit, and stock is often quite scarce because of the backlog of jobs that every installer has from selling those jobs the previous year. Now you can apply this stuff to your business or even your industry, but you can see how it all starts to fall in line in a sec. What's going on in the industry? Right. So you've got, for example, there's a solar and battery conference that happens in Brisbane in March every year. There's a smart energy conference that happens in Sydney. There's another one at the end of the year where they typically launch products, and it's a great opportunity to create content. So we can start to map all those things here as well. Then what ends up happening is we've got what's going on in the customer, the installer, the industry. And then we can clearly start to see some sales initiatives, or what does the sales team need to do? Who do they need to follow up with, right? So maybe we do, for example, here for a campaign idea would be doing a bill shock promotion, where it's a cheap installation, it's a cheap solar installation, a means of getting rid of those bills for good. And typically, they're the type of customer that you're dealing with there is the ones who really just want to get rid of their bill, but not often the high-end customer. Or commercial projects, we can start to do a campaign initiative towards potential commercial customers, where they will, letting them know, hey, you need to get this locked in by, say, March in order to get your lock it in for June 30th financial year to get your tax return. And again, other sales initiatives. So, and then you can outline, some things to consider here, which would be, what are some of the government rebate incentives? What products could you target and your target market? For example, commercial would be over 100 kilowatts and then under 100 kilowatt installations. And then residential high end, or then there's the budget type installations. When you start to think about all this stuff and start to line up what's going on in the industry with your customer and everything else, campaign ideas become very easy to come up with, instead of you sitting there saying, maybe we'll run this promotion or maybe we'll run that promotion. It's very ad hoc, ineffective, and often it doesn't quite hit the target and hit the mark for an effective campaign. And if you just do a little bit of planning in the back end, you'll find that the results that you get from the campaigns and the sales that you get are far better. And not only that, you'll just be a lot more relaxed knowing what's going on, instead of just doing things in a bit of a feast and famine where you've got no lead, so you need to do some stuff. It's not the most effective way to do things, but hopefully this helps. And yeah, appreciate your time. Take care.